in Jerusalem. At a time when the world is on fire, there are more important things than lifting of parking regulations, but showing solidarity with the Jewish community in this moment is meaningful. And I know that my constituents in Williamsburg especially deeply appreciate this legislation. This was originally introduced 11 years ago by Councilmember David Greenfield, so I just want to thank him for initially putting this idea forward, and Councilmember Yeager was a great partner in helping to push it. So thank you to, again, the Speaker for the opportunity to pass this bill.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Ressler. Introduction 1192, sponsored by Transportation and Infrastructure Committee Chair, Majority Whip Sylvina Brooks Powers, would authorize physician assistants and nurse practitioners to conduct medical exams of taxi drivers' license applicants. Currently, local law requires taxi drivers to submit to a physical examination by a pre-approved physician before being issued a license. This bill would allow drivers to obtain medical approval from nurse practitioners and physician's assistants as well. This would streamline the application process and reduce the burden on drivers who often face long waiting periods and waiting for the approval of their licenses. Introduction 1191, also sponsored by Majority Whip Brooks Powers, would change the duration of taxi cab licenses from 1 year to 2 years. The duration of these licenses was changed by Local Law 110 of 2020 to 1 year, along with other licensing changes. However, this bill would return taxi cab licenses to their original 2-year duration. I invite Majority Whip Brooks Powers to the podium to discuss her legislation.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I am so proud to sponsor 2 bills up for a vote today that seek to ease the regulatory burden on the city's TLC drivers. Introductions 1191 and 1192. These bills are about getting rid of the red tape. We should minimize the amount of paperwork and administrative work drivers have to do so that they can drive or be with family and friends or take time for themselves. The first of these bills lets taxi drivers renew their licenses every 2 years rather than every year. The second allows individuals seeking a taxi license to secure medical approval from nurse practitioners or physician assistants in addition to physicians. This affords drivers more options as they seek medical clearance as part of the application process. It also reflects a national trend as more and more healthcare visits are conducted by nurse practitioners and physician assistants rather than just physicians. These bills are part of a larger project by this council to uplift the city's taxi and for-hire vehicle drivers. In the wake of the pandemic, ridership has increased and owners are taking their vehicles out of storage to meet the increasing demand. This council is committed to removing barriers that prevent drivers from earning a living while they provide essential services to New Yorkers. No driver should be left behind. I look forward to continuing the work in the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure to ensure our TLC drivers can not only survive in today's New York City, but thrive. And so I thank Speaker Adrienne Adams for her commitment to helping to lift up our drivers now that we are post-COVID and getting them back into a solid place. So thank you, Speaker Adams, and thank you to my colleagues in advance for their support of our drivers today.
Thank you very much, Majority Whip. Introduction 569B, sponsored by Immigration Committee Chair Shahana Hanif, would require the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection in coordination with the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, the New York City Commission on Human Rights, and community and labor organizations to create and publish a Workers' Bill of Rights that would contain information on the rights and protections under federal, state, and local laws that apply to all workers in the city, regardless of immigration status. Employers would be required to provide provide the information to employees and post it in an accessible and visible workplace location. MOYA, in coordination with DCWP and community and labor groups, would be required to conduct outreach to workers in the city to raise awareness of these rights. The outreach would also include information regarding temporary protected status. It is important that our city empowers our immigrant communities and workers with knowledge about their rights so that they can be protected from actions that impact their health, safety, and well-being. I invite Councilmember Hanif to the podium to give remarks on her legislation.
Thank you so much, Speaker Adams. Good afternoon, everyone. In New York City, immigrant workers are protected by the minimum wage, overtime, paid sick leave, fair scheduling, and the right to form a union. However, many of these same workers are unaware of these protections, leaving them vulnerable to wage theft, retaliation, and other forms of exploitation. Intro 569 will combat this dynamic by consolidating relevant protections into one convenient document called the Immigrant Workers Bill of Rights, and ensuring that this document reaches workers in the languages that they speak. Employers will be required to provide a copy of the Immigrant Worker Bill of Rights to employees on their first day on the job and post it in a conspicuous location in the workplace. MOYA, in coordination with DCWP, as well as community and labor groups, would also be required to conduct outreach to workers, including a robust advertising campaign through digital and print media, Subway, as well as Link NYC kiosks. Since being heard in April, the legislation has been amended to add a new outreach component at emergency shelters, HERCs, respite centers, asylum seeker resource navigation centers, and IDNYC registration sites to help newly arrived asylum seekers join the workforce. At these sites, the city will be required to provide updates regarding TPS and distribute information regarding city resources, including the Asylum Application Help Center, the Immigration Legal Hotline, Immigration Legal Services, and MOYA. This will be critical to ensuring eligible asylum seekers from Venezuela and other countries can swiftly obtain expedited work permits. As someone whose family came to this country undocumented and unaware of their on-the-job protections, the passage of this bill today is deeply, deeply personal. Knowing our rights protects families. I know this bill will help protect our immigrant workers and ensure our city is doing all it can to support our newest neighbors. And before I end my remarks, I want to thank the advocates for their collaboration on this bill, the Legal Aid Society, the Consortium for Worker Education, and especially the New York City Central Labor Council, who worked very critical to getting this across the finish line. Lucia and Cairo, we owe you a debt of gratitude. And of course, a big thank you to the Speaker for her continued commitment to ensuring a dignified welcome for all asylum seekers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Introduction 687A, sponsored by Majority Leader Keith Powers, would require chain restaurants with 15 or more locations to post added sugar icons and factual warning statements on menu items that exceed a specified level of added sugars as determined by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration or another amount specified by the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Eating or drinking too much sugar can elevate a person's risk of type 2 diabetes, which is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States and leads to other negative health outcomes like liver disease and dental issues. Research has shown that sugar amount disclosures can help educate customers on sugar intake and at times convince them to choose healthier options. I invite Majority Leader Powers to the podium to give remarks on his legislation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Halloween is over, and I have bad news for everyone. Eat your candy now. I'm very grateful to the Speaker for helping work on this bill and bring it to a vote. Last term in the City Council, we took a bill that we voted on a bill and supported a bill that would add sugar labelings and warnings in fast food restaurants and chain restaurants, really, for prepackaged foods. And yet we all walk into stores every single day and buy things that are packed and jam-packed with sugar. We have no idea how much sugar is actually in those items, and that's why we're here today, is to give ourselves a better level of transparency. I say as people walk into your favorite chain restaurant, people do it in the morning, get their very sugary beverage, hop on the subway and come down to work, and don't realize that one individual item has already exceeded the daily amount of sugar that they recommend you take every single day. It is a health issue and a public health issue, and it's something that's obviously hurting New Yorkers. So we are going to lead again here in the nation when it comes to nutrition and fighting obesity and public health by giving New Yorkers more information so they can make healthy decisions. We're going to let New Yorkers make the decisions for themselves, but we think they should have the information to do it. And that's what we've done in previous bills around sugar, with sodium, with calories, with other efforts to give New Yorkers a more comprehensive piece of information, no different than when you take a soda out of your favorite bodega or store and you can see everything on it. We think New Yorkers deserve that much information when they walk into a fast food restaurant or chain as well. So this is a big win for New Yorkers' health. And once again, I apologize to those who like those sugary beverages. You can still have them. We're just going to make you feel a little guiltier about it.
Oh, Majority Leader, you are a 5-year-old's killjoy right now. Speaking as a 5-year-old who had many cavities as a 5-year-old. Okay, and finally, Introduction 968, sponsored by Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse, would require the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, in consultation with the New York City Health and Hospitals, to create guidance on educating medical professionals and the public on the detection of the sickle cell trait through pre- and post-conception genetic screening, as well as on the management and treatment of sickle cell disease. This bill would also require that pre- and post-conception genetic screening for the sickle cell trait be offered to those who fall into an at-risk population or for whom such screenings are otherwise medically recommended. It is important to note that sickle cell disease disproportionately affects people of African descent, with about 1 in 13 black babies born with the sickle cell trait in the U.S. Due to the racial disparities in medical treatment and access to health care, the impact of this disease on individuals diagnosed and their families has remained a major issue of structural racism. Just this week, we learned that the FDA is moving towards approval of a potential cure for this illness, so I am so excited about how these advances and our legislation will improve the lives of New Yorkers who have sickle cell disease. So many have suffered due to a lack of adequate care and investments in treatment research for far too long. I'm so excited about this legislation, Mercedes. Come on up and talk about it.
I love it. Thank you, thank you. And under your leadership, that's why we're able to do those amazing and passing so many great common sense legislation. I'm going to use common sense today. Good afternoon, everyone. All my colleagues and a member of the press. I'm Councilwoman Mercedes Narcisse, sponsor of Intro 968B. Today marks a great moment in our city's journey toward ensuring equitable health care for all. And thank you, Madam Speaker. I mean, you just went through it. You just heard all the great things. And so 968 aims to cast a spotlight on sickle cell disease, and a condition that, while invisible to some, deeply affects many in our community. As someone who personally carries the sickle cell trait, and as a nurse who has cared for a patient battling this condition, I understand the multidimensional challenges it presents, from the physical pain to the emotional and social hurdles. My sister, sickle cell trait, ended up with 2 babies with sickle cell disease. Our city thrives on its diversity, and our healthcare system must reflect that by addressing the unique needs of every individual in our city. Early detection, comprehensive education, and unbiased treatment for sickle cell disease are not just medical necessities, they are moral ones. We have the responsibility to ensure that those affected by sickle cell are not just seen, but are cared for with dignity, empathy, and afforded the best medical practices available. I am proud to be the voice for those who have been affected by sickle cell, directly and indirectly. This bill represents our collective commitment to them. It is a testament to this council's unwavering spirit of inclusivity and care. I am so proud to work under your leadership. this is personal. When you have babies getting up in the morning, I have seen my nieces trying to get their medication, and in the middle of the night running to the ER. My sister and her husband struggled through this. This is personal, and thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, as a chair of hospital committee in the council, I think it is my responsibility and every day that I get up to see what I can do to address the inequities in healthcare, and this one is a big one for me. I'm optimistic about the passage of this bill, and I know my colleagues will support me in the chamber, and together we can create a brighter, healthier city, and New York City, I think that we deserve that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's great. Thank you.
I can help it.
You can tell we're a little emotional over this particular legislation because too many of us, particularly in the African American community, know people that have died. We know the pain of sickle cell disease and something that has gotten little to no attention at all. So we're so proud of that, so proud of this legislation today. And I would say this, but Keith and Lincoln are in the room, but this is how women lead. So.
What about the men who get it?
And the men who get it, and the men who get it. You're right. That's right, and the men who get it.
This is a question for Speaker Adams.
Sure.
I'm wondering if I can get your thoughts on the Floyd Bennett bill, especially how it's going to be used as a congregate shelter for families. I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, you know, our first concern is for children, and it's difficult. The entire situation, the migrant situation, is a tough one. We all know that. The situation at Floyd Bennett Field, I think, needs greater care. They need more eyes on it to take a look at it. There is no situation where we would ever want to see children in congregate situations, and we do not agree with having children in congregate situations. So we would hope that the administration would take a look at the structure there, the setup there, and how we can better accommodate particularly families.
I'm going to follow up to that. This could be for anyone. How is the council planning to kind of keep eyes on it and make sure that conditions are being upheld? I'm wondering if you're planning to visit or if there's any sort of plan in place.
Mercedes?
I'm the council member that represents Floyd Bennett Field, and I went for the tour already. I went to all the questioning and how it's going to be safe. As Madam Speaker stated, that it's a concern when you have young ones that are going to be there. But the city, through all the information that I received, they're doing everything they can. But in the meanwhile, I'll be there quite often. I told them they can count me in for everything and as often. If I could make it like once a day before I get to work, I would do that. But sometimes it's, I have to be here early and I live very far. But whatever I can do to support. As a mother of 4, I would not like to see any children in there at all. But we are in a crisis, and we have to move forward to try to do the best we can as we function for the city of New York every day. Thank you.
I guess I got one more.
Oh.
Is there any update on the ethics hearing for Councilmember Redcott that you can share at this point?
Well, we know, all we know is that the court date was today. We have referred the matter to our Standards and Ethics Committee for further review. There, of course, is a criminal legal process that we have to await that we won't interfere with or undermine at all. So we do still have to see that process through. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Let's get on upstairs and govern.
Amazing.